Mulai sekarang. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Saudara-saudaraku, kaum muslimin dan muslimat yang dirahmati Allah. Alhamdulillah kita akan mulai kajian kali ini dengan tema khusus ya. Tema khusus di sini adalah kita akan mewawancara saudara-saudara kita, seorang mu'alaf ya, seorang mu'alaf dari Inggris ya, yang akan menyampaikan pengalaman-pengalamannya, bagaimana dia menjadi seorang mu'alaf, bagaimana kendala-kendala yang dia hadapi, dan bagaimana dia merasakan keindahan Islam di dalam hatinya setelah dia menjadi seorang muslimah. Ya, baik, kita kenalkan dulu saudari kita yang akan kita wawancarai. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Please tell me your name.
My name is Lilia, and I'm from England.
Oh, you're from England. So which parts of England, Lydia?
I'm from Devon, so southwest England.
All right. So we would like you to share your experience, how you embrace Islam as a new religion, and then I'm going to translate into Indonesian when we have finished for a few words. Can you speak Indonesian, by the way?
No, sorry, I'm learning.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so saudara-saudara kita, muslim dan muslimah, ini kita kenalkan beliau adalah seorang mu'alaf yang bernama Lila Hemen Hosen ya. Kali ini kita akan mewawancarai beliau bagaimana perjalanannya menjadi seorang muslimah ya, bagaimana pengalamannya, bagaimana kendala-kendala yang dihadapi, karena memang tidak maksudnya Islam ini bukan agama yang mayoritas di Inggris ya. Oke, Lila, how should I call you? Lila?
Lilia.
Oh, Lilia, sorry. Lilia, how long have you been in Indonesia?
I came to Indonesia last February, so February 2020.
All right. And then how long have you been a Muslimah?
October the 9th, I took my Shahada.
Beg your pardon?
I took my Shahada on October 9th, so about 6 months.
All right. Teman-teman semua, saudara kita Lilia ini berasal dari England dan dia di Indonesia sejak Februari 2020 dan tercatat bulan Juni ya, bulan Oktober 2020. Jadi kurang lebih sudah 6 bulan ya sekarang ya, dari sekarang udah 6 bulan. Kita akan tanya kepada saudara kita Lilia ini sebagai saudara kita satu iman ya, kita dapat alhamdulillah kita mendapatkan saudara ya seiman di sini. Nah, kita coba akan mewawancarai kepada saudara kita bagaimana dia tertarik Islam pada awalnya. Okay, Lilia, I would like you to share your experience to our brothers and sisters in Indonesia. How,
So
I mean, the first time, how you become a Muslim? I mean, the first time that trigger you to convert to a Muslim.
So I grew up with a non-religious family, but they are open. They are very interested and open to learning. And I went to a Christian school, and I never really understood Christianity. And I wanted to know more about religion. So I actually started to learn more about Hinduism at first. And I thought it was beautiful, the Hinduism religion, but it still didn't make sense in my head. I still didn't know what is God, who is God, and I just wanted to know more answers. So then I came to Indonesia last year, and I had lots of like small signs to me, lots of small callings, I guess, which made me interested in Islam. And I made a lot of friends here who were Muslim, and they were the first friends I've ever had in my whole life. You know, I'm 23, I was 21 when I came here, and I'd never had a Muslim friend in my whole life. So for me, it was really new, and I was interested to learn. So I was often asking questions, and the people who I was surrounded with, maybe they weren't practicing their religion as they should be, but still they were interested in talking about it with me. So I then met somebody who was offering classes, Islamic classes, and then I met this whole group of beautiful people, beautiful Muslim people, and I started to really learn more about it. And I was actually shown a video. I can't remember who the video was by, but it was talking about what it says in the Quran about how a baby is conceived and conception. And I remember the description of conception is actually what made my heart completely open, because the detail. And I thought, wow, like, how can somebody, 1400 years ago, who is unable to read or write, describe how a baby is made in that much unbelievable detail? And then literally like a few days after, I took my Shahada. So,
Okay,
here I am.
All right, let me explain to our friends in Indonesia. Maybe I will ask you a few questions regarding your explanation. Jadi teman-teman, sekilas tadi disampaikan oleh saudara kita Lilia, dia terhadir dari seorang yang religius ya, tetapi walaupun religius itu keluarganya itu open. Ya. Lilia sekolah di sekolah Kristen, dia juga belajar agama Kristen, namun dia belum bisa menemukan tentang konsep ketuhanan itu seperti apa, belum dia dapatkan. Jadi walaupun dia beragama Kristen, tapi dia belum bisa memahami apa sebetulnya konsep ketuhanan dalam Kristen dan sebagainya, sampai suatu saat dia bertemu dengan teman-teman Muslim ya yang beragama Islam, dan dia banyak belajar tentang Islam. Kemudian dia belajar tentang Islam juga lewat video, dan mungkin satu hal yang membuat dia merasa takjub dengan Quran ini adalah kehebatan Quran, bagaimana sesuatu yang hal-hal yang tidak terduga, yang tidak mungkin setelah pengetahuan didapatkan sekarang, sudah tertulis 1400 tahun yang lalu. Can you explain to us, Lilia, sorry, in which surah at that time the Quran, which surah that explained that makes you astonished that this is from God? Which surah? You know, Quran consists of 114 surah, from Al-Fatihah, Al-Baqarah, Yes.
It was the surah about conception. I can't remember the exact name of that surah. I'm so sorry, but the surah about conception and how a baby is made. That was what opened my heart. But then that was only one of the first, because I've never read the Quran. I've never studied it ever in my life. Ever. I didn't learn about it until 6 months ago. So then when I started watching more videos on YouTube and being told by my amazing friends here, and alhamdulillah, I have an amazing class with an ustad here, and we study it in detail twice a week. And the more I learn, the more my heart opens. And sometimes at the beginning of the journey, I was very resistant and I would be confused and maybe have this like feeling in my heart that was like, this is too much. But then when you read some amazing surah or watch a video which describes something, it brings you back to your heart and it brings you back to that faith that you know is there. It just sometimes goes a bit wobbly, especially when you're new and at the beginning of the journey. But the surah that really, really opened my heart was the surah about conception.
All right. See, I remember, if I'm not mistaken, it was in it's in Surah Al-Mu'minun. You know, the development of a baby from zygote to be a baby, born baby. I think Surah Al-Mu'minun, Surah 24, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, this the development of baby growth, in the womb of a.
And it describes the embryo as
the stages. The Quran explains the stages of the baby. That Al-Mu'minun in Surah 24, if I'm not mistaken. It's amazing, right? How
so amazing.
How Quran can explain even, how it the Quran describes the pattern, the shape, which looks like, a small thing, is a halakah, in the womb of a womb of a woman, pregnant woman, Jadi teman-teman yang membuat dia Lilia ini takjub ketika dia membaca tentang proses kehamilan, dalam surat, kalau nggak salah surat Al-Mu'minun, kalau nggak salah, surat 24, tapi nanti coba kita cek, karena saya sudah lama saya pernah membaca itu, di proses bagaimana dari zigot menjadi bayi, kemudian lahir, dan bagaimana semua itu dijelaskan dalam Quran secara berurutan. Itu yang membuat dia terheran-heran, karena pengetahuan tentang perkembangan janin ini kan sudah diketahui setelah abad ke-20, Jadi 1400 tahun sebelum teknologi pengetahuan tentang penggunaan janin ini diketahui, ternyata Quran sudah memberitahu sebelumnya. Nah, ini yang membuat dia takjub, bagaimana mungkin kitab suci ini ditulis oleh manusia kalau dia bisa menerangkan sesuatu yang terjadi 1400 tahun kemudian, Jadi inilah bukti bahwa ini kitab bukan ditulis oleh manusia, tetapi kitab ini pasti dari Allah, dari Tuhan, karena itu dia langsung bersyahadat. Okay, Lilian, I have explained to our Indonesian friends, Indonesian Muslims, about the things that make you convince you that Al-Quran is the words of God. Okay. So, what is your family reaction when they knew that you embraced Islam as your religion?
Well, actually, my whole family still don't know yet. So maybe they'll find out via this video, who knows. But my mum speak about it with my mum, and at first she was not very happy about it. But then the more I speak to her, the more open her heart becomes. And recently, only 2 or 3 days ago, she said that I can share surahs from the Quran with her if I want to. So that was really amazing, that she, over the last sort of 6 months, she has been opening her heart slowly. But and my brother as well. But the rest of my family, like my dad, my cousins, my aunties, nobody knows yet. So I still need to tell everybody, because in the West, in England, Islam is viewed very differently to the way it is here in Indonesia, because I think it's because of the media and the way that they portray Islam is really wrong and it's lies. So I need to educate people on the reality and the beauty of Islam, instead of what they see on the TV all the time. But yeah, I think that my dad definitely has a long way to go in accepting me being a Muslim, but inshallah he will come and he will accept it.
Inshallah, everything will be easier. Allah will help you. Oke, teman-teman, jadi begini, ketika saya tanya ke Lydia ya, bagaimana reaksi keluarganya? Pertama, memang ibunya merasa tidak suka ya, kenapa dia harus menjadi Islam, karena memang image tentang Islam kan di Barat memang kurang bagus ya. Ibunya kurang suka, kemudian saudaranya juga kurang suka, tapi sampai sekarang dia belum menyampaikan ke ayahnya, ke saudara-saudara yang lain tentang bahwa dia itu menjadi Muslim. Namun dia dengan hati-hati, dengan secara telaten, sabar memberitahu ibunya tentang Islam, bagaimana dia memahami Islam, bagaimana Islam yang sebenarnya, sehingga dia juga mulai men-share ya, mulai share itu mulai mengirimkan ayat-ayat Quran ke ibunya. Diberitahu ini loh Bu, ini sebenarnya Quran ini seperti ini. Bagaimana kehebatan ayat Quran ini dia sampaikan kepada ibunya ya. Saat ini ibunya sudah mulai bisa menerima Lydia ini menjadi seorang Muslim ya. Nah, ini perjalanan bagaimana tentang reaksi keluarga Lydia ini. Okay, Lydia. Another question from you.
Yes.
Before you embrace Islam, what did you think about Islam? Is this the same as other stereotype, the stereotype of the Western people that Islam is is something bad religion, which is not in a good image. So, did you have the same view about Islam before embracing Islam?
I really hate to say this, but yeah, I thought Islam was just about terrorists. Astaghfirullah. But I really did. I just thought it was really violent, and I thought that women were being oppressed, and it was like, women just having to obey men and people killing people, and it's just absolutely the complete opposite. And I feel really sad actually that was what I perceived Islam as. I feel really heartbroken now that my whole life is what I thought, and still now people all over the world, my friends, my family, they still have that view, which is totally bizarre because it's the most peaceful, respectful religion with the utmost women's rights. It's all about women's rights, and I love that, and it's really eye-opening and inspiring, and I just think it's such a shame that people all over the world have such a misconception about Islam, and hopefully that will change.
Alright, jadi teman-teman tadi saya tanya ke Lydia bagaimana pandangan dia tentang Islam sebelum dia menjadi seorang muslimah ya. Ternyata sama juga dia dengan perasaan nggak suka dia mau menyampaikan. Seperti yang dipahami rata-rata orang Barat, Islam itu adalah agama teroris, agama yang tidak menghargai wanita, agama yang merendahkan wanita, dan semua hal-hal yang buruk tentang Islam itu yang ada di pikiran dia waktu itu ya. Jadi dia sama sekali tidak terlintas bahwa suatu saat dia akan menjadi Islam, karena memang seperti sebuah stereotype ya, kalau Islam ini memang dianggap agama yang apa ya, banyak kekerasan, teroris ya, yang dicap teroris dan sebagainya. Itulah seperti yang dinilai orang-orang Barat yang belum memahami Islam. Tapi ketika dia membaca Al-Quran, dia belajar Islam, ternyata di luar dugaan ya, Islam sebagai agama yang justru menghormati wanita, yang menghargai wanita, yang agama yang mengedepankan hak-hak asasi dan kedamaian. Setelah dia memahami, dia baru menyadari bahwa apa yang dia pahami tentang Islam sebelumnya itu adalah tidak benar, ya, adalah keliru. Nah, inilah memang pentingnya kita melakukan sosialisasi kepada teman-teman yang belum memahami tentang Islam, bahwa Islam itu adalah agama yang menjunjung tinggi hak-hak wanita, juga melindungi wanita sebetulnya ya. Kalau mereka belum membaca, memang belum memahami, memang mereka tidak paham ya. Oke, kita lanjutkan lagi ya pertanyaan untuk Lilia. Oke, Lilia, I have explained your opinion before embracing Islam. So, what is the basic of Islam is the Tawhid, that we submit to one God, submitting to only one God. This is the basic of Islam. And then, what do you think about the Tawhid in Islam? Because maybe what you learned from the previous religion, or the religion that you embraced before from Christianity, that's a different thing, because the concept of God is in Christian is Trinity, and then in Islam is Tawhid. So how would you understand these two different things easily? I mean, it's not easy for someone who actually learn from the childhood about the Trinity, that the God is three but one, and suddenly change into the concept that God is the only one, submitting to only one God. So is it difficult for you to accept this, the teaching of Islam about the concept of God?
Not at all. I think that it answers all the questions that we have as humans, because we all have this feeling inside of us that there is a God when we're born, right? And we're always wondering, what is that feeling? And when we go through heartbreak or like trauma, we usually turn to God, even if we are not religious when we're younger. And I think that I always had that really strong feeling that there was just one God. There is that one light, that one path. So whenever I studied Hinduism, I was deeply, deeply confused, because I was like, how can there be hundreds and hundreds of gods, and one God for money, one God for love, and one God for health, and one. I was like, what's happening? I'm so confused. And then with Christianity, I didn't understand the whole concept of God in Christianity either. So then Islam answered all those questions, because there is just one God, and that is the truth. There is just one God, one path, one light, and it's so peaceful when you have that realization, because I felt really calm actually, and that's why I think when people do take their shahada, everyone cries, because it's an overwhelming sense of peace and understanding. And and then if I've had any sort of problems since being Muslim, I feel like I can handle them so much better, because you have that trust, you have that connection with just one divine. So I think that the concept of God in Islam has answered all of my questions, and it made so much sense to me straight away. Straight away, when somebody told me that there is one God, you know, that's when I realized, oh my goodness, this is so true.
Thank you. Ya. Oke, teman-teman, tadi saya tanya ke Lilia, biasanya kan agak sulit nih, bagaimana yang sejak kecil diberi pemahaman tentang dia seorang Kristen ya, jadi di sini kan sebagian besar adalah penganut Trinitas ya. Bagaimana dia yang memahami Trinitas dari kecil tiba-tiba harus menerima Tuhan yang tauhid ya, karena dalam konsepnya memang berbeda kan. Kalau dalam konsep tauhid itu memang Tuhan ini maha tunggal ya. Kalau Trinitas itu tiga yang tunggal, sama-sama tunggal tapi yang satu maha tunggal, yang satu tiga yang tunggal. Nah, dalam benak dia memang dia sempat juga ada agama-agama lain yang percaya banyak Tuhan, banyak dewa ya, banyak dewa juga ada dewa cinta, dewa dan sebagainya. Dalam Kristianiti dia juga mengetahui bahwa Tuhan itu adalah tiga yang tunggal ya. Nah, dalam Islam menurut dia inilah yang paling make sense ya, yang paling make sense, yang paling masuk akal. Tuhan itu memang maha tunggal. Maha tunggal itu tidak bisa entah menjadi pribadi yang lain. Kalau dalam Islam kan memang Tuhan adalah maha tunggal. Nah, bagi dia ini yang benar-benar membuat dia yakin inilah yang benar, bahwa Tuhan itu memang maha tunggal. Dan itulah tidak heran mengapa orang-orang yang bersyahadat banyak yang menangis ya, karena mereka benar-benar menyadari bahwa selama ini mereka salah memahami tentang tunggal ini. Nah, jadi mereka benar-benar merasakan, menemukan Tuhan yang sejati. Tuhan yang memang benar-benar mereka cari adalah Tuhan memang Tuhan tauhid yang maha tunggal ya. Nah, inilah bedanya. Jadi memang kadang-kadang kita melihat teman-teman yang non-muslim mengatakan, teman-teman kita saudara-saudara yang Kristen, Esa itu sama, Esa itu satu, dalam Kristen pun juga satu, dalam Islam juga satu. Dia yang cuman ehadnya ini beda ya, satu maha tunggal, satu tiga yang tunggal. Nah, ini yang memang berbeda ya, dan memang tidak bisa disamakan karena itulah perbedaannya ya. Jadi kalau kita mengatakan Esa sama ya memang tidak bisa karena konsepnya itu memang berbeda. Oke, Lilia, can you continue? Can I ask you more? By the way, where do you live now? Where do you live now?
I live in Bali, in Denpasar.
Oh, okay. So, in which part of England do you live? Which part of England?
It's a city called Exeter.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So in the county Devon. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So now you live in Bali, and most of Balinese, they are Hinduism. They are not Muslims. But I think what influenced you most to become a Muslim is that you learn many things, Islamic article from the videos. It helps you much to understand Islam better, especially from the Deen show. Do you learn from the videos about the Islamic religions, the teaching of Islam, besides your friends, right?
Yeah, lots.
Lots of videos.
Lots
okay.
Yasmin Mogahed and Hamza Yusuf.
Oh yeah, Yusuf Islam. Mm-hmm. I think that there are two prominent Islamic figures in England, in UK, Yusuf Islam and Abraham Green. Do you know about him? Do you know about them?
On YouTube.
On YouTube, yeah. I think they're the most prominent figures, Islamic figures in England so far, yeah, as I know.
Yeah, because
all right.
I never really knew of very many Islamic figures in the UK because I never tried to even learn, or I didn't know that they existed until this year. So yeah, it's a shame really that I didn't know all the way until now, but now I know.
Ya teman-teman, jadi tadi saya mengatakan bahwa di UK ini sebenarnya ada dua tokoh Islam yang paling terkenal ya karena saya sering baca ini, sering nonton di YouTube. Ya satu adalah Yosef Islam atau Cat Stevens ya, tuh bekas penyanyi. Yang satunya adalah Ibrahim Din ya, yang memang gencar dia berdakwah. Nah, ternyata Lilia ini tidak tahu karena dia tidak pernah membaca tentang hal apapun tentang Islam sebelumnya ya. Nah, jadi dia nggak tahu bahwa di saat di England juga ada tokoh-tokoh Islam yang cukup populer ya, cukup populer di kalangan Muslim di England di sana. Nah, sekarang saya lanjut akan pertanyaan lagi ke Lilia. Lilia, how Islam changes your life now? I mean, in the way you think, in the way you live, or in the way, what is it?
A lot of different ways. I think that one of the most beautiful things that has changed is organizing my life around praying, because getting up early every day, always having to pray at the same time, I really enjoy that because it organizes my whole day and it gives me time to calm down, decompress, take time for myself and my faith, and just come back to that straight path 5 times a day. And I thought that was so much. I thought I'm never going to be able to do that. But actually, it doesn't make any difference. It actually helps with life so much. But also, I just feel like since being Muslim, I've become so much more peaceful and happy and humble and grateful for everything that I have. And I think that that's how it's affected me the most.
Oke. Tadi saya tanya kepada Lilia bagaimana Islam merubah dia ya, karena kebanyakan banyak dari teman-teman kita biasanya kalau berubah dia entah memeluk agama yang baru, itu akan mengalami hal yang berubah dalam hidupnya. Kalau untuk Lilia ini perubahannya ya, dia sekarang dia harus organize hidupnya untuk melakukan sholat 5 waktu ya, karena memang dulunya kan tidak ada kewajiban sholat ya, sekarang dia harus sholat 5 waktu, jadi dia harus bisa mengatur bangun pagi, subuh dan sebagainya. Ini yang memang dirasa sulit karena memang yang tidak terbiasa sholat itu memang agak berat ya melakukan hal-hal yang seperti ini kalau bukan karena iman. Karena saya punya teman orang England ya, sebenarnya teman adik saya yang pernah, karena dia lama tinggal di Inggris, dia sampai mengatakan that's impossible, karena kenapa kamu harus sholat itu, nggak masuk akal lah sholat 5 hari kamu harus sholat, susah amat hidup menurut dia, ribet sekali menurut dia gitu ya. Karena dia non Muslim. Nah ini memang tidak mudah untuk menjadi Islam karena konsekuensinya kan harus sholat 5 waktu, harus puasa ya. Yang sebetulnya kalau tidak terbiasa melakukan ini memang terasa berat ya. Nah itulah kira-kira. Jadi sekarang yang berubah dalam diri dia adalah dia harus membiasakan diri untuk melaksanakan sholat, dia harus organizing time, jadi harus bisa mengatur waktunya untuk sholat dan sebagainya ya. Ini adalah suatu yang memang karena dia yakini ya, dia yakini untuk Muslim yang kafah ya. Oke, Lilia, so do you have any plan to live in Indonesia or to be an Indonesian citizen? Because here in the country you can learn Islam more easily, and then it's easy to find masjid, it's easy to be with friends among you who are Muslims, and there are many people also, they are fasting. Well, when you live in your country, you become the minority, not the majority. It's easier, to accept the majority. So what is your opinion? Do you want to live here or do you want to go back to your country?
I can safely say I just never want to live in England. I don't want to go back to the UK. I don't ever want to go. I just want to visit my family. But I think that my home is definitely Indonesia and I will live here for a long time. but I really love traveling. That's why I came to Bali in the first place. So I would like to travel a lot in my life, but I think that my home is definitely here in Bali, and it will be my home for a long time.
Ya, jadi ternyata saudara kita Lydia ini ketika saya tanya apakah dia lebih nyaman tinggal di Indonesia di mana mayoritas memang Islam, jadi dia itu banyak teman, kalau berpuasa juga banyak teman, masih juga bisa mudah ditemukan ya. Berbeda kalau dia harus di England karena Islam adalah agama minoritas, walaupun sekarang sudah berkembang cukup bagus, tetapi dia merasa nyaman di Indonesia gitu, tidak ingin kembali ke England mungkin. Karena memang di sana dia sebagai minoritas, nanti dia banyak ditanya, kenapa kamu menjadi Islam dan sebagainya mungkin ya. Jadi dia merasa ingin tinggal selamanya di Indonesia ya. Jadi kalau tuh dia harus kembali ke England, berarti dia hanya untuk visit keluarga. Jadi dia menjadi citizenship, Indonesian citizen di sini ya. Mudah-mudahan membawa berkah ya. Beliau di sini membawa berkah karena niat beliau kan memang untuk menjalankan Islam dengan secara nyaman ya. Memang kalau di UK puasa harus sendiri ya, mungkin karena jarang. Islam itu ada, cuman sekarang sudah berkembang lebih baik, tapi tetap bukan yang mayoritas ya. Nah itu kira-kira keinginan si Lydia saat ini ya. Okay, Lydia, do you know how long will be our interview? 1 or 1.5? Our interview will be 1 hour or 1.5? I think 1 hour.
I think one.
The interview is 1 hour. Okay, we still have around 20 minutes. Yeah, we still have around 20 minutes. So this is about, I'm going to ask about the people in Indonesia. You know that Islam actually is Indonesia one of the biggest Muslim country in the world. You see, the biggest Muslim population is Indonesia in the world. And then, you know that Islam is now the fastest growing religion in the world. Islam is becoming the fastest growing religion. And I think it's become as Karen Armstrong says, the most logical religion, the most applicable religion, right?
Yeah.
And then Islam is not something that we are afraid of. Islam is just fair. It's just justice. It's something that we can apply in our daily lives. That's Islam.
Yeah.
Do you find any difficulties in practicing Islam because you have to pray 5 times and then you have to fast every Ramadan and then sometimes someday you have to go to Hajj in Mecca?
I don't find it a problem.
Do you have any problems?
No, I don't
it's okay.
find it a problem at all. I find it, I actually find it quite easy. I mean, right now, because it's nearly time for iftar, I'm tired, but it's fine. You know, I'm really enjoying my first Ramadan. I've not broken my fast yet, so I'm quite proud of myself. And I think that by living in Indonesia, it makes it a lot easier to be Muslim, because if I was in England, I think that doing Ramadan would be super hard. You know,
yeah,
I wouldn't
hours.
Yeah,
9
it's actually
hours.
More. Yeah, it's longer
time.
Yeah, and I just don't think I wouldn't get the support, you know, and there's maybe just one masjid in my whole city. Just one. But it's good that there's one, but still only one. And I think that it's by living in Indonesia, it's a lot easier to get the support, because I have an amazing friendship group and we all support each other and we hang out every day and we motivate each other. We have a little group chat where we send each other little bits of information and surahs from the Quran, and it's just really lovely to have that, because I wouldn't have that in England. And maybe if I lived in England, my faith would decrease. But that's why it's important for me to live somewhere like Indonesia, where I do feel supported, and I do feel like it's easy to do the fasting, and it's easy to do my praying, and it's easy to just be Muslim. So yeah.
Alright, thank you. Tadi saya tanya ke dia, teman-teman, saat dia menjadi Muslim, bagaimana, apakah berat menjalankan seluruh ibadah ya, jadi puasa, sholat, karena kita tahu sama Muslim pun ada beberapa yang berat untuk sholat, meninggalkan sholat, ada yang puasa juga tidak puasa ya. Ini kan kembali ke masalah iman. Apakah dia sebagai seorang yang lama tidak pernah puasa dari kecil, tiba-tiba harus puasa, kemudian nggak pernah sholat, ternyata dia memang awal-awal memang berat melakukannya ya, karena sesuatu yang tiba-tiba harus sholat tiba waktu nih. Nah, biasanya bangun siang, dia harus bangun pagi, tapi sekarang dia sudah bisa menikmati, termasuk puasa pun dia sampai hari ini belum putus, puasanya belum break ya, belum bolong lah kalau kita. Sampai sekarang dia masih puasa, sampai hari ini dia masih tetap puasa. Jadi dia ya, memang ini menjadi teladan bagi kita yang belum, teman-teman yang belum kalau yang belum puasa dengan penuh, ataupun ada sholat yang kadang-kadang masih ditinggal, karena di lingkungan saya, tempat saya kerja ya, nggak tahu tempat yang lainnya, beberapa teman di lingkungan saya kerja pasti ada satu atau dua yang nggak mau sholat walaupun dia Muslim, ada yang nggak puasa walaupun dia Muslim, itu saya temui cukup ya, ada beberapa. Nah, ini beda dengan yang dilakukan oleh saudara kita Lilia. Dia benar-benar berusaha dengan sungguh-sungguh untuk melaksanakan semua kewajiban-kewajibannya sebagai seorang muslimah ya. Nah, nanti kita akan bertanya, waktu kita masih ada 15 menit lagi ya, Lilia. Okay, we still have 15 minutes to talk, Lilia. About the Quran, Quran is, we say this is a miracle. The Quran is actually a miracle in which people can learn by heart, even children of 5 or 6, yeah, although they don't know Arabic, but they can learn by heart. This is one of the miracles of Quran. There are still others. If you learn Quran in both science, in science and history, there are many things, lots of things that we can find that Quran is really a miracle. It's words of God.
Yeah.
Have you started to read Arabic? Because Quran is written in Arabic. This is the difference between the Bible. The Bible is translated to many languages. So Christians, they read their holy books based on the translations, which is different from one country to another. It's based on the language they speak. But the Quran, and also we have the Judaism, the Torah, the Tanakh, the holy book of Judaism, is written in Hebrew, and Quran is written in Arabic. So this is our compulsory, This is we are obliged to be able to read Quran in Arabic, and this is why every Muslim has an obligation to learn and read or read Arabic. What do you think? Have you started to read Quran in Arabic?
Yeah, I have actually. I think that, surprisingly, I actually think that learning the words, so for example, when I first learned Al-Fatiha, it only took me a day. It took me just a day, and then I was already saying it, because it's actually such a beautiful language and it's really easy to learn. But I thought that it was going to be really hard. I thought, I'm never going to be able to learn that. So I've learned a few surahs and like the prayer as well. But now I actually take classes to learn the Arabic. And just a couple of days ago, I finished learning the alphabet. And I'm really proud of myself. So
that's great. From Alif, Alif, Bata.
Yeah. I'm too shy to say it on here, but I can. But it really, it's not as hard as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be really, really hard and a challenge, but it was a challenge that I was willing to take. But now it's actually not that hard. And I think that my amazing friend, she does an Arabic course, and she said that it would be good for me to do it because then I can learn really quickly how to recite the Quran. But I think the important part is not just being able to recite it, but actually understand what it means, because I can maybe say some surahs off by heart, like I can remember, but maybe I don't know what I'm saying. So I think it's really important to study each word whilst you're learning the Arabic, so that you really understand the meaning of everything that you're reciting. Because that's why the Quran, the revelation did come in Arabic, is because it's so descriptive and it's so precise, and every word is so it describes. If you were trying to translate just one word into English, you may need 2-3 sentences.
Exactly.
So that's why, and I think that it's I don't deny the Bible or the Torah or the Vedas. I understand that they are revelations, but they've got messed with by humans, and they've been translated and mixed up over time, and that's why we're so lucky to have the Quran come, so we can.
Okay.
Changing. So that's, I'm really excited to learn Arabic.
That's very great. Yeah, it's not difficult to learn Arabic. Actually, it's easy, especially when you realize you have to know Arabic and you have to learn Arabic because this is the language used by our holy books. Nah, teman-teman, tadi saya tanya ke Lilia, apakah dia juga belajar bahasa Arab ya, karena sudah dalam bahasa Arab. Ternyata dia sudah belajar bahasa Arab, dan dia kalau menghafal-hafalkan dia mudah. Tetapi kalau bahasa Arab, dia sudah mempelajari huruf alif ba ta sa ya sekarang ini, dan dia menyadari bahwa perlu sekali sebagai Muslim tidak hanya reciting Quran, membaca Quran, tetapi dia harus tahu juga maknanya dalam bahasa Arab. Ya, dan ini Lilia ingin belajar, tidak hanya bisa membaca tapi memahami bahasa Arab. Ya, karena bahasa Arab itu memang precise. Bahasa Arab ini precise karena begini, dia ada tajwid ya. Jadi kapan panjang pendeknya juga membedakan makna dan sebagainya, tidak ada dalam bahasa lain. Itulah kenapa apa di dalam bahasa Arab, salah satunya adalah memang bahasa Arab ini tidak berbeda dengan bahasa lain ya. Kalau bahasa kita mau mengatakan panjang pendek sama, bahasa Arab itu tentunya tidak sama ya. Ada banyak hukum-hukum dalam bahasa Arab ini yang membedakan bahasa Arab dengan yang lain, dan juga maknanya. Bahasa Arab itu biasanya satu kata ada banyak makna tergantung konteksnya. Inilah yang dia pelajari, dan beliau ingin sekali memahami Al-Quran dalam teks bahasa aslinya bahasa Arab. Ini perlu kita contoh ya, kita teladani. Kita sebagai Muslim juga harus memahami bahasa Arab, memahami Quran, tidak hanya tapi juga bisa memahami maknanya dalam bahasa Arab. Okay, it's great, I appreciate that you start learning Arabic. I myself a Muslim, but I also learn Hebrew because I've been learning Tanakh, the Judaism, in its own languages, and it's important to know the text in its own language. The text in the real language, in the the language that that used in the text is very important, because translation is not exactly the same, cannot be exactly the same as the real meaning in its own languages.
Oh, I feel
This is
so
why,
uncomfortable. I can't hear
yeah,
anything.
this is why it is important. So the
What do
last
I
eight
do?
minutes, maybe I'm going to ask you. So we are happy. We are happy to be with you now.
I
What
can't
is
hear
the last?
anything.
Yeah, something wrong? It's okay. I can hear you. So the last 5 minutes. What is your,
Uh,
uh, your good words, your message, your suggestions for our Muslims in Indonesia? Have you any suggestion? Have you any? Ini, maaf teman-teman, dia ada masalah dengan apa koneksinya. Jadi mohon maaf. Ini karena kita memang sebenarnya udah hampir selesai ya, tinggal 7 menit lagi 1 jamnya. Mungkin jawabannya habis atau bagaimana, dia tidak bisa melanjutkan, beliaunya tidak bisa melanjutkan. Tapi terima kasih, kita sudah selesai hampir 1 jam berbicara dengan Lilia. Ini nampaknya dia mau mencoba. It's okay, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. Actually, for the last 5 minutes, your comments for Indonesian Muslims, for your what's your suggestion for the last 5 minutes, please?
I think that my suggestion would be to Indonesian Muslims is do your best to encourage people who are not Muslim in a graceful way. Don't put pressure on people, but try and encourage and inspire them by leading a good, positive example with love, with kindness, with devotion to your faith in a positive way. That would be my top piece of advice. And yeah.
Ya, jadi Lilia memberikan saran kepada kita sebagai seorang Muslim di Indonesia untuk tidak memaksa, tetapi berilah semangat kepada saudara Muslim untuk bisa menerapkan agamanya dengan cinta, dengan kasih sayang, dengan kebaikan, ya, dengan hikmah, seperti yang diajarkan oleh Rasulullah sebagai seorang Muslimah. Yeah, I think what you have suggested is the same as our Prophet. Rasulullah also give examples, yeah, that you have to, you have to teach Islam in a good way, in love, in a good manner, by giving a good example from your own, first from your own. This is Islam, yeah. Islam is a religion which is applicable to all the people in the world, because Islam is universal.
Exactly.
Islam is universal. That's why in Islam they say, "Ya ayuhan nas, all mankind, ya ayuhan ladina amanu, all the believers." Yeah. So it's universal. It doesn't denote. It doesn't refer to certain nations or certain race. It's just for all of the people in the world. And Islam, as in Surah Al-Hujurat 13, that Allah, Muslims are the same in the eyes of Allah, except their obedience. Okay, this is, I think, the same thing that Islam is actually teach us to love each other, to care each other. Yeah. What they think about Islam is as a terrorist is not true. This is completely wrong, because they just quote, they just quote the first, the first in the not properly. This is the first of war. Yeah, they just take it as the teaching of Islam. Ya, teman-teman. Yeah, I think so. I think we have the same opinion, Lilia, about Islam now. You have a better understanding Even now you are Muslimah, we are happy to have you as a Muslimah, as our sister in faith. Hopefully, this is the Graha Mu'alaf. Yeah, please give any comment, or if you want to join us, or if you have any problems, just tell us anything you want to ask about Islam. You also can ask our. This is our, what is it? Organization. Graha Mu'alaf means the house of Mu'alaf, the house of the new converts, those who convert to Islam. Yeah, we have this channel as the Graha Mu'alaf. Yeah, means the house of the converting, those who convert to Islam. As I think this is the same as you also who becomes, who converted to Islam. I think now the better way is to refer to Islam, because actually people has to submit in one God. This is the natural, what is it, the natural condition that people actually, the human being is believes only in one God. This is we have to, you refer to the your fitrah, to the, what is it, the natural condition of human being is only believe in one God, the real God. Yeah, okay. I said thank
Yeah.
you very much for your coming in the show, for our togetherness. Hopefully it will bring goodness to others. It will give barakah from Allah. I mean, if we are have the blessed from God, from Allah, then we become istiqomah in our Muslim. You become istiqomah, I will become istiqomah. Everybody here, we hope. Thank you very much for your coming. I hope
Thank
someday
you.
you join us again. We can meet again. We can meet face to face. We have this
Yes,
silaturahmi. You come to Jakarta. I live in Jakarta, or when I go to Bali, inshallah, I will see you in Bali.
I
Okay.
would love that.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much for having
Wassalamualaikum
me.
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Nice to see you.
Waalaikumsalam.
Bye bye.